Hi, host Eric here. It's Talking Finish People. Because, I started asking, we were going to cover a topic of INTJs, and I sort of broadened it to include a little bit of ENTJ to discuss how they use FE. And when I started that topic, I didn't know that that's where it was going. I didn't say, let's actually talk about these guys, but let's do a topic like this. I actually was talking about that topic, and they turned the topic to be about you guys coming in because I guess I said something about Damon being good at FE despite being an ENTJ, and maybe that's how it segued there or something. But you know, it I think it's an instructive moment for parties involved, like Jay and Courtney. I hope perhaps understand a little bit better now that when they're having those conversations with me in this room, then, well, you know what? You can't hold back any longer. Let it come right now. Because that's how exciting and sexy these sentences are right here. Regardless, the Raw Room is always recording, always publishing. It's not right now because it was busted and I had to fix it. But that's exactly what anyone should expect when they come in here and talk about stuff is that it might be published on the main channel. I mean, I don't know if they regret saying those things or not, but I think that they perhaps didn't understand that when I'm asking questions about that and recording, that means that's going to go up onto the channel.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, honestly, I watched it and I was like, what is she talking about? Because we literally came on. It was me on the call, and uh, Damon was walking back here or something, and so he comes in, and he's like, who's on the call? And I was like, oh, just this person, this person, this person. Are we talking about anything? I was like, I think so. We were talking about something at the time, and then I think what happened was everyone's video cameras started to disappear, right? And I was like, it's just me. And so then we were trying to encourage people to come on, because I don't know why they left, but we were just like, oh, come on, guys, why are we the only ones on here talking, right? But apparently they were having a conversation in the chat. We just didn't notice it.
Yeah.
So when we did notice it, we opened it up, and they were talking about unifying the world, right? So I'm bringing up my concerns. One of my questions was, I said something like, when you say unify the world, what are you talking about? What aspects of the world, and why are we unifying it in the first place? I was like, what is it that we're unifying the world for? I was like, what are we trying to accomplish? I was just I was confused because um,
Okay. So,
depending on what it is, it may be considerably worse after you try to unify it.
right.
so, we're talking about that, and even Damon brought up a good point, but I mean, I don't remember what it was. And then I think at one point we were joking around because we have this joke, right? We have this joke that whenever you ever have an issue with anyone, you always have to consider that people are generally stupid. And this is a joke that comes up just about all the time. I might go, man, I don't know why this person is doing this. I was trying to figure it. I was asking them, why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? Trying to understand. And he was like, Trey, it's don't forget the number one rule, right? And we'll catch each other on that all the time. And so we just brought it in because we were enjoying ourselves.
See, I don't
And
like the number one rule because it absolves the other party of responsibility. My my take is if they're stupid, then that's all the more reason for me to yell at them until they agree with me.
well, no, I think it's just it's almost calm down, man. Stop letting that stress you out. People just they aren't gonna think. So you know what I mean? because it'll be something that, I'm worried about or he's stressed out about or whatever. And if that's the bottom line, then it's kind of like, it just kind of lets us forget it. We're like, oh, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting point. I think that's an interesting issue to talk about in general is the relative intelligence of different people and different circumstances in which that can be frustrating or not matter at all. In some circumstances, it is, in fact, a real hindrance. When I talk to Abraham, my ENFJ helper person, about politics, I understand quickly that there's no point in explaining to him why he's wrong. There's no point in trying to get him to address these issues logically. He is very team based. So he understands what the progressive position that people his age and demographic have, and he goes with that one. And when I explain to him that it makes no sense, he sort of shakes his head like, "Oh, you crazy Eric with your radical, weird ideas. That's not right." It's fucking Abraham. I just don't even want to talk to you about it because that's fourth slot DI. It's when I was telling him about make my argument against the notion that some sort of race-based metric ought to be used to reform the police. That we ought to, his position being that we should pay close attention to racial bias in the police forces. And my position being we should re-implement a rights-based understanding of crime. He couldn't tolerate my racism. Talking about racism or talking about race magnifies the problem rather than solves it. But he could tolerate the same conclusion when Justin gave it to him in the form of pitting marginalized peoples against one another. In that form, he could tolerate the same conclusion that race-based justifications are always bad. But he couldn't tolerate it from my position because in that case, it's the wrong team advocating it. So that kind of shit's really important to him. It's an indication of weak TI. But, and as far as that goes, I don't know exactly. I can't fix him, but what I can do is, exactly, race is for winning. What I can do is change his thinking a little bit so that he's not quite as persistently wrong as he would otherwise have been.
Damon tells me that you occasionally upload a video where you're like, I'm wrong. And you're like, I'm sorry. It's
Yep.
like, yeah.
When I'm wrong, yes, I do that. Because it's important. People need justice. I don't blame them for needing justice. If I'm wrong, they need to see me being just and acknowledging that. Because
I
if
apologize.
I'm going to hold them to account for it, if I'm going to be like, you're wrong, you need to admit it, then I better damn well admit it when I'm wrong.
Yeah.
At least make a show of it for the purpose of making that point.
Eric, there's a few people in my life that I've always said are legends, right? So, those people, it's almost like they're cartoons. It's like you see them and you're like, there is no way that this person can exist in reality, yet they're there, right? And there's a few people that I know that exemplify that behavior, and you are one of them.
Thank you, Trey. That's very kind of you to say. I appreciate those sort of distinctions as they need to be. That's really what I want to be thought of as, is distinct from everybody else, Although I don't mind being grouped in that small group of legends that you say. That's a great title. That's a great heading to find yourself under. I very much appreciate it. I can assure you I don't view myself in that fashion. It's really a strange phenomenon to come to slowly understand. I'm going to answer your question about Effie in a second, Margie. to slowly come to understand that other people perceive me very, very differently than I perceive myself. Like I'm trying to get them to perceive me as smart and wise and successful and stuff, and it's working way more than I understand. I think is what I'm starting to conclude. You know, I don't feel it at all. I don't feel it one fucking bit. I don't know. I just don't feel it.
Yeah, I've always wanted to be that category, and I think that occasionally I am in that category, but it doesn't last long. And there's people like like Damon, he's in that category. There's this ENFP guy I know. His name's Xavier, and he wakes up every morning, goes and takes a walk the whole day, and what he'll do is he has nothing, like he is broke, but he will take a walk and he'll go to a friend's house, and the fruit basket that nobody eats the fruit out of? You know what I mean? He'll go there and he'll be like, oh, wow, that looks delicious. And he'll be like, do you mind if I take one of those? And they'll be like, oh, yeah, for sure. So what happens is he's surviving by being extremely social. And he has no, he just, the way he exists in the world is just so interesting because he's the most social person you know. Like, he can come up and talk to anybody and be instantly interested in everything they're saying. Like,
He says
it's impeccable.
ENFP.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird how certain FI users kind of do a great job with FE without exactly using FE. But Margie, I think, yeah, I do admit mistakes in FE for sure. Those are the easiest ones for me to admit because I'm less attached to it. I do also admit mistakes in TI, which is to say, or at least I admit being beaten in spots in TI. I'll say, oh, yeah, okay, right, fine. You win that point. If somebody points out a good argument against what I'm saying, it kind of gets lost in the wash because I'll concede them on the fly then and pivot. I won't let it sit in that spot. I won't fight that point that I've lost very long. So it may kind of escape notice sometimes. But I do admit when I'm wrong on TI and I admit when I'm wrong on FE. When I'm likely to upload a video saying I fucked up, my bad, it's when I was insensitive in laying the lumber probably. I went overboard. I said some stupid shit that I shouldn't have said or I just overdid it for one reason or another probably. That's when I'm most likely to upload an apology video. Or if I feel like I did something that was hypocritical and in contradiction to some of my core axioms, then for sure I'll call myself out on that because I don't want to let somebody else call me out on it. Obviously, I'm happy to admit failings in SI. My bad, I forgot about it is a perfectly acceptable answer for me. Oh, my bad, I spaced. That's fine. That's a good excuse.
That's mine, like every time.
I told this kid in the debate team, I wasn't mad at Henry because he's pretty hardcore, but he spaced out about one tournament that he's supposed to go to. He just didn't show up. That's bad, right? That's really bad. The other kid gave me a whole set of arguments about how he wasn't ready to compete and therefore didn't compete. I'm way madder at the second kid because the first kid is a good kid. He wants to compete. He understands he's out there to do battle. And he just spaced out about this battle. I get that. I can empathize with that. The other kid's being a puss, right? He's like, oh, I'm scared to compete because I don't think I'm good enough yet. Well, get out there and get your fucking ass kicked so you can start getting better. Until that happens, you're not going to learn a goddamn thing. You won't have any motivation if you think you can just, well, I'm not ready yet, and just avoid competing like a little bitch.
Man, when I see you and Damon complain about shit like that,
Well, that pisses me off.
that's what he says.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we are both the same tri-type name. So, in different order. Taylor's 837. I think Damon's 387.
It's 837.
837 also. I'm 783. So my achieving's in last. I achieved kind of as a afterthought, incidentally, hopefully. It's my achievement is more aspirational. It's like, come on, achievement. Come on. One of these things got to hit at some point. It's not really my primary goal, as you can probably tell by my refusal to engage in monetization optimization. Right? It's like I don't really optimize this whole thing for money making, although I'm in the process of putting together another place. That should be done. Like the first stages of it should be done by the end of the first week of December, I'd say. It's more complicated than it seems. You gotta take pictures of the shit, and you gotta set everything up, and I want to make sure I'm doing it properly. This is one of the issues for an NE person like myself. I can think of all these different ways in which I might implement it, and I don't have such a clear understanding of which way is the best way to do it. And so I kind of sit around and hum and haw that shit sometimes. Especially if it's like an architectural decision.
As long as you're doing something.
As long as I'm doing what?
Something out of all the different ways that you could implement it. As long as you're doing one thing, then you'll at least fail, or you're going to succeed, or half fail, or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm actually kind of stuck in SE to a certain extent, of just continuing to do the kind of work that I've been doing, which is primarily producing more videos, and not doing the kind of work that ultimately would probably have the most impact, which would be stuff that relates to managing existing content better. I've got so much of it that I really ought to well, I mean, I don't know. That's the problem. Half of me says you should optimize the channel by
All right, I'm going to stop you right there. All right. So Eric, I was just thinking this today. I love the go-to meetings. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I love the go-to meetings. We actually found a way to implement Hangouts in our Slack group so that maybe more of this kind of interaction can happen. You know what I mean? Because I love coming here. Sometimes, there aren't very many, really interactive people and stuff like that. And I'm more interested in getting to know you guys versus, talking a lot of theory and stuff, even though I enjoy that. I've done enough of it. So, but no, I definitely enjoy this platform.
Well, what I'm saying is I enjoy this platform a great deal myself, and I think there's a matter of, given all the content that I have and all the content that's currently being made, what is the way to refine that content into a YouTube channel that is optimized in terms of what viewers are looking for, in terms of total amount of content and frequency of release, thumbnails, titles, length of videos, things like that kind of optimization of the existing body of content, plus some sort of, I guess, I hate to say the word, I fucking hate to say the word, but some sort of plan regarding how I'm going to release videos going forward. I don't like plans because they limit me, right? I want to put up whatever video I feel like putting up right now without any considerations beyond that. And I allowed myself to do that for the entirety of this channel once I started letting myself do that, which was maybe over a year ago. I don't know, a while ago. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
Doing a good job, Eric.
Thanks, Damon. Thank you. I had deduced that you were over there, by the way.
No, yeah, I was standing right there. I was
Trey
like, I
wasn't
gotta hear.
hiding it very well.
Huh?
I said Trey wasn't hiding it very well. If he was supposed to have been hiding it,
I didn't want to interrupt you while talking, popping in and going out, so.
You are always welcome to interrupt me.
Yeah, no, you're doing great.
See that FE? It's like it's protocol.
It's amazing. It's amazing. You should see my introverted feelings. They're also amazing.
Are they really?
Oh, they're.
I mean, I remember you sharing some introverted feelings with me one time.
Was I
That's
crying
his.
or
That's
laughing?
sarcastic.
No, I know, but he actually does have some.
I know.
Well, I have two. I have three. I'm crying, laughing, or mad.
That's not it.
Yeah, see, he's got three.
Remember, you have a very emotional attachment to recording shit.
Oh, did I get upset because I failed to record something?
No, but you told me directly. You were like, I have a very emotional.
I have an emotional
said-
attachment to recording stuff?
Yeah, you said because you feel like you'll lose it. Remember that?
I guess that would be emotional. Feeling of loss. Is that an emotion?
Yeah, I think that's how. I don't remember how you described it necessarily, but it was something along those lines.
A state of
Huh?
lossitude?
You might have said that.
Would you say it's a condition of pre-grieving? Grieving for potentialities not occurred? It's post-pre-grieving. It's after the thing has not happened, then you pre-grieve it as though it were going to still happen. That's the emotion.
What?
That's the emotion I feel sometimes, yeah. I'm trying to nail them down. I'm trying to come up with very specific names for all my emotions. So far, I've got
why not
laughing,
just
crying,
Fred?
mad, and that one I just said.
Why not just name it Fred? Wait, you said that one we just said. You don't even remember what it is already.
That's not descriptive. Fred, that's not descriptive of anything. That tells me nothing. My exciting name told me a lot of things. Thanks for watching Talk with Famous People. I've been host Eric. I've been here with host Trey, and we have been talking Tizokin the Tizok. We've been talking about this, we've been talking about that, and somewhere in the mix, we talked about the other thing as well. And when I come back in a second, we're going to answer Margie's question more.